Welcome to Module 2, and I've entitled this module Vocabulary Building. Vocabulary is essential to being a good reader, to being able to comprehend what you've read, and so this entire module is going to focus on building our vocabularies. Now, we're going to do that in several different ways, and the first is through comprehension clues. It would be really, really nice if we could just memorize all 171,000 words in the English language and know their definitions, but that's probably not going to happen. So we're going to find that there are some clues that are tucked into sentences and around words that will help us to determine what a word might mean. So I'm going to start off with comprehension clues and three different ones. I'm going to introduce you to word form. This is dealing with prefixes, suffixes, and root words. And the idea is that we may not know what a word means, but if we can figure out what part of that word means, we can make a pretty good guess. So we'll deal with word form. We'll also deal with author's hints. So sometimes in a sentence, the author will know that he or she has used a word the audience may not be familiar with. And so they tuck in little clues, maybe a synonym or an antonym that will help you to understand what that word means. So we're going to watch a little video on that and learn how to look for those author clues. Then we will talk about figurative language. I provided a video on figurative language so that you can be sure to understand what a simile is, a metaphor, a hyperbole, because these are often used in textbooks and in even fictional writing. So we want to be familiar with figurative language. After teaching you about comprehension clues, I've provided a folder on study skills. Many of you may be pursuing a degree in the medical field where there are a lot of words and definitions to memorize. And so I want to teach you three different ways to study for vocabulary tests. The first is what we call cue cards. And the idea is writing words and definitions on an index card, but rather than just putting the words and definitions, you word it as a question, hence the name cue card. And so you put a question on either side. That way, no matter which side of the index card you're looking at, you're being asked a question and your mind is being forced to engage in forming an answer. So we'll look at cue cards. We'll look at an A-B list, which is probably my favorite way of studying for vocabulary quizzes, taking a piece of paper, folding it in half, having an A and a B list, and being able to flip back and forth and study. And then the third way that I will teach you is Quizlet, which is a free online application that students find to be extremely helpful. So we'll talk about those in the folder called Study Skills. And then I will introduce you to 30 new words that need to be a part of your vocabulary. And so I have provided you a couple of exercises with these 30 words. First, there will be matching exercises where you simply go in and match words to their definitions in order to become acquainted with those words. And then I'll follow them up with a vocabulary assessment where I will take those 30 words, use them in sentences. You have to choose the word that best completes the sentence. And this just gives us an opportunity to build our vocabulary. Now, when we recognize those words, we can handle them easily. What we've found is that, that when you stumble upon a word that you are not familiar with, your mind not only misses that word and glitches on that word, but it glitches on the next 4 to 5 words afterwards. And so you can see where vocabulary building is crucial. If we want to understand and to comprehend what we read, we must be able to understand the words so that we can grab the context. And that's what this module is all about. There will be a short reflection at the end of the module where you can just tell me what you found to be most helpful, and I will look forward to watching you progress through Module 2.